watching Poets in Portland
eating food. Let's do this!
This is Chris Luna. Let's do this!
I usually don't read, it goes down until the end of the night.
I know, then...
I'm going to read something at the beginning, but it's not mine, so that might not be appropriate to have in the video.
My president, Staceyann Chin. Every time I step to a microphone, I develop an uncontrollable itch to shout, "Donald J. Trump is not my president!" And that's not just because I didn't vote for the fool, not just because he's become the latest tool members of the contemporary Klan pull out from their modern-day sheets to remind us of when their cloths covered this land with the brutal hand of white racist terror. If you have ever had to dress down some melanin-challenged motherfucker talking about all lives matter, raise your right hand and say amen. So you know exactly what I mean when I say Donald J. Trump cannot be recognized as no motherfucking president. First of all, he's been breathing on this planet for 70 years and still has the vocabulary of a third grader. Not to mention his mouth always looks to me like an incontinent asshole that can't hold in its own bullshit, in spewing the septic defecation of ignorance and discrimination, contaminating the already polluted air with inarticulate entitlement, steady providing validation for all the other white men who feel like equal opportunity for anyone else means we are trying to motherfucking oppress them. Donald J. Trump could never be my president because he began his political career by questioning the legitimacy of the first black president, elected in a country built upon the hardworking backs of African Americans. He could never be my president because he had the gall to call for Barack Obama's birth papers as if this were 1831 and he was one of them cruel white men, free to grab any black body and demand documents. In the America we are currently fighting to create, men like that can no more lead us than can a predominantly white police force protect the black descendants of the very brown bodies they enslaved to gain the racial advantage they refuse to let go of, no matter how obvious it is. That in America, race and opportunity are linked like poverty and the prison system, like rape and a woman's right to choose, like who has wealth and who pays the least taxes, like gerrymandering and who gets the right to vote. It's time for poor white folks to admit they've all been sold a 6 for a 9. This con artistry of race and sex and economy isn't new. Donald J. Trump is just another white knot in the noose they keep tying around the necks of the disadvantaged majority. Just another fairy tale in the elaborate inheritance of lies they sell to anyone who isn't rich and white and longing for the good old days when racially cloaked narratives of nationality was the only history available to average Americans, fed to them to keep them from being woke, to keep them from poking too deeply into whose pockets most of the wealth that ordinary people work for from 9 to 5 every day in this country goes. Black people have had enough of this systematic bullshit. Between the 500 years of unrelenting racism and the recent rise of this fake-ass, over-tanned, idiotic orangutan, black bodies have got no more tears left to cry. We're ready to try some next-level shit, to resurrect some Black Panther, Angela Davis, Assata Shakur shit. I'm willing to bet the same is true of the rest of y'all motherfuckers. I'm willing to let you know that the state of things as they are is unacceptable. Having spent my whole life fighting for better than this, I refuse to give deference to this walking, shameful evidence of what fear and prejudice and a little Russian interference can birth in a nation. Obviously asleep at the wheel of our own democratic elections. Donald J. Trump is not my president because his tenure in the White House is a result of unchecked sexism, a culture of rape, and the ever-present undercurrents of the newly emerging 21st century Ku Klux Klan. Donald J. Trump is not my president because he wants to disappear our Muslim neighbors, because he wants to deport Mexican-American families, because he fails to recognize that the only Americans who are not immigrant Americans are Native Americans. He is not my president because he sexualizes his own daughter. He will never be my president because I want to clearly demonstrate to my daughter that a man who boasts about grabbing women by their vaginas without their permission does not ever deserve her respect, no matter who he is or how rich he says he is. That even though that egotistical airhead masterminded and pulled off the greatest political coup in the history of modern elections, he remains nothing but an illegitimate, embarrassing burden I hope we won't have to carry for 4 whole years. Every time I see this orange snake slithering around on my screen, I want to break my fucking TV, rip it off the wall and let it fall from my 5th floor apartment. I wish I could just close my eyes and pretend that none of this is not happening. But if we do not keep our eyes open, the consequences will be catastrophic. Every kind of resistance is necessary. When the arm of injustice persists, we have to develop new ways to resist. We have to keep trying, keep changing tactics. We have to find a way to impeach him, this motherfucker. We cannot be discouraged by these political tricks of distraction. It will take longer than we anticipated to get this fucker off our TVs, out of office, and outside our collective consciousness. It could take a year or 2, God help us, it could take 4. But no matter how long it takes, we have to keep to the truth of what we know. This buffoon cannot lead, so we cannot follow him to the sordid places he would have us go. No matter how normalized the actions of this incredibly imbecilic and inhumane administration has become, no matter how numb we become to what the news anchors say, you have to say something different to yourself. Donald J. Trump is not my president, has never been my president, will never be my president. Make it a mantra. Say it to your fish, your parrot, your Republican counterparts. Say it over and over again to them, and one day, when everyone else sees he's no more than a snake oil salesman, no more than a Cheeto-dusted Freddy Krueger, invading every aspect of our lives, like all the great walls of divisiveness built before him, he will fall, revealing the yellow bellies of all those who brought him to power, and whoever is responsible, be it Vladimir, one of those them funny-looking Trump children, whoever it is that Iago motherfucker will have to answer to the rest of humanity for this small-handed wrinkle in this bumbleclot warp in time. Staceyann Chin.
The hardest thing about this is sound quality. Like I've been watching some of these.
Yeah.
And like I gotta maybe if I ever get good at these,
microphones.
if I ever get good, then maybe I'm gonna invest in some microphones.
Okay.
But that's part of the deal. Is so maybe we should.
Well, one advantage today is that I'm fucking loud. So
That
I'm
works
a loud
too.
guy. So yeah. Well, I can be when I need
Yeah.
to be. Yeah. So.
All right. So I
I
want to
will
have this
speak
at
up.
the right angle for us.
Okay.
There. That's good. I think we go straight here.
All right. I've
Go
never
on.
been to this place, so I'm following you.
You're like
I'm hoping that you're looking around a little bit so we don't get hit by a fucking car while you're
Well, that's
holding
part-
this
yeah.
selfie stick.
Hopefully they'll see us too, because we're just a couple of idiots walking around with
Couple
the
of
selfie
idiots
stick.
with the selfie stick. Well, at least we're not at a concert, you know. Like the thing that I really approve of
Yeah.
is like Jack White and people like that taking people's phones away. Because
They do?
phones are fucking ruining the live concert experience.
I don't care.
It doesn't bother you?
It doesn't bother me.
You
Those
mean you really
assholes.
want to watch your show through somebody else's phone because they put it
I
up
don't
in
really
front of your
give a
face?
shit.
Oh,
They
really?
paid the money. They can do whatever they want. Concerts cost so damn much money now.
And we got a poem. It's called the Legendary Music Scorecard. It's about all the different people that we went to see that we consider
Yeah.
big, like
Well, I like that you write a lot about music.
Tony Bennett and Willie Nelson and Tara Power. You know, those ones where it's like you got to see them before you die or they die. You know.
Or-
And so for me, Van Morrison's on that list. So
Maybe you
pretty
don't have
soon
to, but I
we'll be
think-
ticking them off.
But I've been here, so I know the food's good
Okay.
here.
So you're saying for most of them, it's your first time for going in?
Well, I've only done like 6 or 7.
Oh,
of
I
them,
thought
so-
you did like 100 of them.
Not yet.
How you doing?
Here we are. We're in Mother's. We've just been seated down. Seated down? Is that the right word?
And I have
Seated?
to
We've
say-
just been seated?
I have to say thank you to Ian because, you know, they don't usually let me into places like this. So talk to this guy and find out what his deal is.
Yeah, we
Maybe
gotta-
he'll have a poem in his back pocket and we can ask him.
We gotta find out
To
about
read
this
something to us.
waiter. Yeah.
I think it's this guy. Hey man.
Hey, how are you?
I think they said to us that you're a poet also. Is
Yeah,
that
you're
true?
They told us that
Yeah.
you're our
Jason
poem
Castor.
waiter.
We performed together before.
Where did we perform together? At Backspace?
Long ago,
So that would have been a long time ago.
I actually have a big show I'm doing. I just had one last week, but another one in January. I was actually meaning to call you.
Oh, please do. I'll give you my info or whatever. Because I didn't do this last one because I was out of town, but I did the one before that.
Right. Yep.
Were you at that one?
Yep,
The one that was at Revolution Hall?
Revolution Hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't remember that
You're
right
totally
away.
cool. I'm not in.
Right.
Yeah.
But please do let me know about the show in January. I'd love
absolutely.
to come.
Yeah, I would love to have you on board. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Jason.
Ian. Oh, I was looking at this book right here. I picked up this book from you when we were still reading at Cover to Cover Books. And it's a lot about like public transportation and his thoughts that were written while you were traveling on C-Tran.
And the thing that really became important when I was doing the ghost town poems on the buses was realizing that I was on the bus with people that the people in the cars in Clark County would like to either like ignore or forget about. At the beginning of the Ghost Town project, I was not comfortable with where I was living. I didn't want to be living there, and I was really looking at Vancouver through a New Yorker's eyes and seeing the things that I didn't like about either Vancouver or Northwest. But then, like I said, over time it becomes more affectionate. It becomes more of like, let's see if we can like. I mean, you're still trying to be honest. You're still trying to portray things as they are. Right. But I changed internally, and things were happening like, like getting to know Tony and falling in love with her, and being a part of this beautiful poetry and arts community.
And stuff like that.
All these great things were happening, and so in a way, like you get to watch this transformation. Awesome. Thank you. This looks really good.
What is that?
This is really good Italian. This is a White Russian.
That's the White Russian?
It's like a I think it's like a blended White Russian.
Okay.
So being a Lebowski fan and a Coen Brothers fan, this is a little nod to them and a thank you to you.
White Russian's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what makes him so interesting.
And the new Batman stories where they got like all the people that are trying to mimic Batman and trying to emulate Batman. They kind of take over the city with all these weird Batmans. Disseminate that
Some
information.
kind of like demented circus, they all have makeup or weird deformities or whatever. Yeah, great.
Dear friends, make no mistake, this is my cry for help. My friends, they say I'm nuts. They say I'm crazy. But I so confidently and clearly speak these days with clarity and becoming of me ever. And yet their reactions to who I am and how I am and who I'm becoming leave folks bewildered, wondering about my well-being. They wonder about my well-being. They wonder about my well-being. They wonder about my well-being when my well-being just resides in love. You see, I'm crazy in love. I'm in love with someone who's in this room. You see, I'm talking to you about love. But that's just not it. No, I'm talking to you about God. But that's just not it either. No, I'm talking to you about you. And I know you're in there too. Because you've been playing hide and seek with your love moment by moment since the first time we met. Each individually, this beautiful beloved one, I see all of you. You all touch me. You each continuously kiss me, each individually. This beautiful beloved one, I see all of you. So, when I say these things, sometimes I feel like I should say I'm sorry. Sometimes I feel like I should apologize. But I can never say I'm sorry. Because every time I feel like I've said too much, every time I know I can never ever say enough. You see, I know this. I take comfort in this. Write this down in your little notebook, that you are never, ever, ever alone. That you are loved, and you are loved, and you are always in this crazy, amazing, ecstatic state of loving. I know. I'm crazy. I'm insane. Hell, I even got called a Barney the other day. But you know what? I'm a happy man. I'm content. And I'm satisfied. All because I am in love with love. And I'm wildly in love with God. And I'm crazy in love with all of you. Thanks.
Great, man. Thank you.